Hi guys, Joe from PrepAgent again. I saw some of you guys earlier. And in case I forget to mention later, I'm going to put a link to the new channel right there in the chat and tell you guys could see that. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. Doesn't seem like we have many people here now. Maybe my time's not good. If you guys are here and ready to go, give me a thumbs up. Looks like I only got 5 people here. It's much less than last week. Maybe my timing's off with this. Deanne's ready. Good. Anybody else? Oh, Shannon. Good. Shannon's ready. Excellent. All right, let's start with this. Do you guys listen to podcasts? And you guys listen to podcasts? How many of you guys listen to podcasts? Anybody? Who here listen to podcasts? Okay. Do you guys think you could use podcasting as a way to get business? Who's ever thought of it like that, as podcasting as a way to get business? What do you guys think? Have any of you guys ever thought of podcasting? So Jennifer, what was your thinking with it? Why would podcasting be a good way to get business? Let me ask this, guys. How many of you guys ever heard of blogging as a way to get business? Like writing your thoughts online, like writing everything. Or maybe posting things on Facebook. You guys probably heard of that, right? Posting things on Facebook, things of that nature. Okay, you probably heard of that. Well, it's the same idea, except you get to speak it and record it. Okay, it's very easy to do. It's so much easier than people think. So a lot of the benefits of doing this is it's a lot easier than you think. Okay, it also shows you. I don't know if you guys know what I mean by humanizes you. When you write a blog, okay, people read it, but it really doesn't say much about who you are. It's kind of just text. When you put your voice out there, right, people see there's a real person. There's a real person there. Okay. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay, hopefully it does. So let's look at what a podcast is. All right, so what a podcast is. And by the way, I have a podcast too on iTunes. You may see it there. And I want you guys to think about what I do right now. Okay. Before I go on to the next thing. How many of you guys here, even though you've never met me, feel like you know me? Let me start with that. How many of you guys here never met me, but you feel like you know me? Did you guys feel like you know me at all? Like it's like if you saw me, you'd be like, "Oh, hey Joe, what's up?" So I get that a lot. That a lot of people feel like they know me, and that's great because that's what I'm going for. I want you guys to feel like we're friends. I want you guys to feel like we have a personal relationship, right? Now, oh, Deanne says a little. We'll have to change that to a lot. I'll work on it, Deanne. Okay. And a lot of you guys, how many of you guys listen to the YouTube stuff, but don't actually watch the videos? That you guys like put it on when you're cooking, or maybe you're in the car, you're online, you listen to the material, okay, but you don't actually watch it. All right. Do any of you guys listen to it very often? You just put it on play? Okay, so Jennifer says, I do while I'm heading to bed. My point is, some of you guys may watch it, but a lot of you guys should just listen, but it still has that same effect. And the point is that I'm trying to make is you don't necessarily need that visual. The visual I could create may be hard for you to do. So by introducing podcasting to you, I'm trying to introduce to you an easier way to kind of get across that personal touch, which you just said happens. Okay. And without having to do the videos and the images and all that, heavy duty work. Okay. So the whole idea is to create that personal touch. First of all, what is a podcast? All right. Started by this guy named Ben Hammersley. It's a little fun information for you. Okay. And he did this, he coined this when you guys remember when iPods were big. Everybody had an iPod. You don't see them anymore. There used to be a time where Apple had the little thing you listen to music on. So there's the iPod, and people would listen to these casts, like radio casts. So he came up with the name podcast. It doesn't have anything to do with Apple, but that's just a little fun fact for you guys. Okay. So that was started when they had the iPod. It's a combination of pod with radio cast, and you hear podcast. That's how the word got started. So, how to produce a podcast. Okay, so I want to give you guys a little more tips on how to get this thing up, and then we can talk about strategy a little bit later. Okay, so first of all, you got to plan your episodes. So, when you guys are conducting real estate, I know you guys may not have a lot of followers, all right, for your podcast. So, you could push it out to your clients. You guys could record something. And I've had a lot of agents who do this where they'll have questions that people ask them, like, hey, how do I do a purchase contract? What's the listing? What do I need to know about buying a home? And instead of explaining to you, they explain it and say, by the way, I also have this audio file I want you to listen to. I think it'll be really helpful. You're forwarding your clients to your podcast. You're forwarding to your clients the information they could listen to on their own time. So I know some of you guys may be like, but I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have a big show. You could use it as a tool for your clients to listen to. So after they speak to you, okay, they can listen to you over and over and over again till they get that feeling that they know you. And the more information you add, you created this nice little learning tool for your clients and prospective clients. And obviously, the more they listen to you, who do you think they're going to come back to buy or sell a home? Okay. So I want everybody thinking in those terms. Good idea, right, guys? So when you have a client, they have information, they want to ask questions, you recommend they go to the podcast. These are people because where would you recommend somebody to go if they had a lot of questions, a lot of information they want answered? What, some blog that they're going to be bored and read? Or maybe even the company website that doesn't even direct to you and does nothing for you? Okay, so a well-organized podcast information would be much more efficient. Okay, and once again, it makes things personable. Okay, so the podcast must have a format. The podcast can last about 10 to 20 minutes. You don't want it longer than that because people get bored. 30 to 60 minutes if you're doing interviews. There's two people trying to speak. Even that's a long time. I have podcasts that are sometimes like 5 to 10 minutes, okay? So you got to remember we're in this ADD culture, right? So you got to keep it short. Depends on the theme, what you're talking about. You're talking about buying, selling, culture in the neighborhood, things of that nature. You got to decide, are you speaking alone? Are you going to interviews? Is it a mixed format? Things of that nature. And you also got to plan out a schedule. So Monday, Thursdays, things of that nature. I recommend as an agent, you do it every Sunday. Sunday after you see the open houses, because then that information is fresh. Usually on Sunday, you're going to go see an open house. You're going to talk to a lot of the agents and a lot of buyers and sellers about what's going on in the area. That evening is a great time to do it. You could even just record everything you learned about the area that day or that week, okay? And you could also find people to interview if that's what you want to do. Okay, so I recommend you have a structure where you do it every Sunday, okay? Sunday night, you just create a quiet space for yourself, give yourself 30 minutes, and you're basically just doing an audio recording, kind of like, do you guys remember Captain Kirk in Star Wars? Captain's log, 3452, blah, blah, blah. And then he recorded his events of what was happening. Who watched that? Who knows what I'm talking about? Anybody? Any of you guys? Nobody? Captain Kirk's log? Okay. Moving right along. All right. So you have a script structure when you're speaking. So you always go into each voice session having a structure of what you want to talk about. You want to talk about the open houses? You want to talk about something going on in the area? Do you want to give information? Things of that nature. Okay, so you got 3 parts to the script. You got your intro. This is the part that you want to write down the most. Introduce yourself, the podcast, and the content of the episode. Okay, so every single podcast, you got to say, my name's, Bill, whatever your name is. My name's Joe. I'm from this neighborhood. If you want advice on how to purchase homes, or if you want to contact me and selling a home, go here, And today we're going to talk about yada, 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 yada. Okay, every single one you want to do that. If you notice with a lot of my webinars, I used to do that before every one. First one, I say, this is Joe from PrepAgent, and I continue with what we're going to talk about that day. Okay, the body is obviously the content in the beginning, and then you always got to leave the summary of key points you spoke about, because everybody has ADD, date of the next episode, topics of the next episode, and then a call to action. Anybody here know what a call to action is? This principle applies to whatever social media outlet you're using, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, podcasting, blogging, anything. There always needs to be a call to action. Who knows what a call to action is? Anybody? Anybody ever heard that word call to action before? Okay, so the call to action is something you're going to hear a lot about when you continue your internet marketing. Okay, what it is the thing you want the people to do. So, call to action, for example, sign up for my email list. Call to action, contact me for a listing appointment. Call to action, download the episodes. Call to action, come visit the office. Call to action, attend my open house. Call to actions are actions you want people to take. The best call to actions for marketing purposes are ones that you could track, okay, or things you could track. That's why people love email lists, because you could track how successful it's going, okay? Call to action, come to the open house. They come to open house. When they sign in, you say, how'd you hear about me? They say the podcast or whatever it was, okay? And then you guys can track that. Those are the best call to actions. They're key things you want people to do, okay? And every time you talk to your customers, you need that exact call to action. This also comes up in any sales pitch or any sales script that you're going to study. There needs to be that call to action, okay? And by the way, just think about how much this is going to set you apart and how much more professional you're going to look if you have a lot of audio files of you sounding intelligent, all right? So you want to pre-write your call to action. Okay, equipment. You do not need great recording equipment or special rooms. Simply a computer, storage capacity, basic microphone. How do you guys think I sound right now? Anybody guys think I sound decent? Sound okay? Anybody? Right now, I am using the basic microphone that comes with your iPhone, that little white cord. Okay, that little white cord that comes with your iPhone, that's all I'm using right now. Can they find better ones? Sure. But you guys can hear me. It should be adequate for your purposes just fine. If this is not sufficient for you, you could get a lot of them. You go to Best Buy. They're very cheap. They're very easy to use. It's not complicated. Okay, your computer should have enough storage for this. If there's not enough storage, you could put it on something called Google Drive, where you could save space. When you have videos or documents or audio things that take up a lot of space, you can use something like Google Drive. It's free to use Google Drive, save space. And if you upgrade to have more storage, it's like $1.99 a month. It's not much. Okay, it says, do you recommend setting one up now and start recording, then introduce when become a real estate agent? Oh, great question, Jennifer. Absolutely start it now. Please start it now. Start it now, start it now, start it now. Even if you're talking about your study process. Remember, all those things you could talk about, wow, I'm excited to start selling real estate. I just went to the open house today. This is what's going on in the community. There's a reason you guys are deciding to get into real estate. You got to convey your passion. You have to convey your passion. Right now, you guys are extremely excited, extremely passionate. That's going to come across in your audio podcast. When you guys talk about the area and talk about the different transactions going on, all the reasons why you're getting involved. Okay. So right now is a great time. Just be conscious of the local real estate law about what you can and cannot say. And 99% of the time, it basically means you cannot solicit business. But there's nothing against you sounding like an expert. Okay. You could talk about real estate, you just can't solicit business for it. And all you're doing is talking about it here. Okay. Okay. So I said storage capacity, basic microphones, and free recording software. And by the way, if you guys start talking about different things, you're actually educating yourself. I cannot tell you how much I've learned by teaching this stuff, because it's one thing to read it online and kind of understand it. When you actually have to gather your thoughts, organize them, and dictate them in a cohesive manner, you actually have to learn the material. You really got to nail it down. So this process of doing the podcast is a way of reaffirming the things you learn and really clarifying in your own mind all this information you're taking in. So it's a really good exercise. Has anybody ever found that when you kind of dictate things that you learn, you're actually reinforcing this new information? I don't know if you guys ever found that before. By the way, those of you guys studying for the real estate exam, it's a great practice. Try and explain some of this stuff to your kids, your spouses, whoever. Okay, here we go. So editing the episodes. Okay, you must speak naturally without fear of making mistakes. You guys even hear me now talking. I sometimes say, I sometimes hesitate, sometimes jumble my words. And although that doesn't sound great when I do that, it's way better than me just reading something off. Okay, for example, this first slide I showed you, if I just read to you, you just can listen via stream or download to listen at any time. Can be downloaded from various applications such as iTunes, but can also be uploaded to a variety of services that are created specifically for this. I didn't even finish that sentence, and I'm just bored hearing myself say it, okay? So you want to get away from just reading stuff, and you want to start speaking naturally without fear of mistakes. You got to remember you could edit. Now, obviously, the more natural you speak, the more smooth you are, okay, the less you'll have to edit. You will have to edit less, not because you guys have a script, but more because you guys know what you're talking about. And this goes back to what I was saying before. Really try and understand the topic at hand, since speaking naturally is very easy. I mentioned writing a script and organizing your thoughts, but that's within reason, okay? Okay, so the editing gives you a peace of mind, knowing that if you make an error, you could correct it in the editing process. In the editing process, you can eliminate background noise, irrelevant pieces, repetitive, annoying snatches in the audio, barking neighbor's dog, all that kind of good stuff. The most basic audio or video software will give you ability to edit your podcast, okay? So I want you guys to understand there's a lot of fancy radio materials and audio materials and music studios. What you are doing here is very, very basic, okay? Meaning that, like I said, you guys can go to Fry's, Best Buy, any of those things, and you can get equipment that is perfectly good to edit software. For most of you guys, you get it for free. For example, GarageBand. If you guys have a Mac, it comes with your Mac. GarageBand is free. You also could use Audacity, Adobe Audition. Those are three that I mentioned here. You guys could write those down if you want. They're free editing software. This costs you nothing. There's so much marketing material, it's going to cost you money. When you guys start as an agent, you probably already heard, there's a lot of expenses involved getting your business started, okay? So take advantage of everything that's free. Don't sit there and cry about all the expenses that are taken to get started in your real estate business. Instead, make an intelligent evaluation of things that you could do that could help grow your business that don't cost money. I mean, isn't that kind of what you learn when you're a kid? Don't cry about it, learn how to fix it. I understand money's an issue. So if that's the case, why would you not look for marketing methods that are free? This is one of those that are absolutely free, okay? And will set you apart from a lot of people, especially all those dinosaurs in the real estate business. You're going to enter the business. You're going to see people who probably can't even turn on their computer who are getting sales. And you're going to be like, how is that happening? Okay, any questions there? Anybody have any other editing software that they could recommend? Anybody? 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 Okay, move right along. Okay, what are the benefits does podcast use for your company? Shows your expertise, like we said, shows your personality, and the podcast is a downloadable file. Is not affected by problems such as domain changing, hosting, or service downtime. And you guys know what I mean by that? By downloadable file? What do you guys think? Okay, so what I mean by downloadable file, all right, is that once they download, they can listen to any time on their phone or their computer. Okay. Whereas if you listen to things off the internet, like you're doing right now, you need a good Wi Fi connection. That's not necessarily true with a podcast. It's just downloadable and you're good to go. Well, all right, guys. I don't really see a lot of interaction today. So I'm going to plan another one for next week, but hopefully that helped. If you guys have any questions about this, please let me know and I will see what I can do. Next week, I think we're going to go back to Instagram to see how we can get it going there. Other than that, it's Joe from PrepAgent, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.